Hello, beautiful souls. When we talk about reacting, we're talking about something we do or say in response to something else. Imagine you're walking down the street and suddenly a ball comes flying towards you. Without thinking, you might duck or try to catch the ball. That's a reaction. It's immediate and it's driven by your emotions or instincts, not by careful thought. Reactions can also happen in conversations. If someone says something that makes you angry, you might snap at them without thinking. Or if you hear a funny joke, you might laugh right away. These are also reactions because they happen quickly and are driven by your feelings. But reactions aren't always the best way to respond. Because they happen so quickly, they don't give us time to think about the best way to handle a situation. We might say something in anger that we later regret, or make a decision in a hurry that turns out to be a mistake. That's why it's important to understand our reactions and learn to control them. By taking a moment to think before we react, we can make better choices and handle situations in a more thoughtful and effective way. In Buddhism, reactions are seen in a unique light. Buddhism teaches us about mindfulness, which is all about being fully present in the moment and aware of our surroundings and feelings. It's like taking a step back and watching our own thoughts and emotions without getting carried away by them. When we react to something, we often do it without thinking. It's like a reflex. Someone says something that upsets us, and we might snap at them, or we might feel scared and immediately try to run away from what's scaring us. These are reactions, and they happen almost instantly, without giving us much time to think. But Buddhism encourages us to not react impulsively like this. Instead, it teaches us to be mindful. When we're mindful, we take a moment to really pay attention to what we're feeling and why we're feeling it. We don't just react. We observe our feelings, think about them, and then decide how we want to respond. This doesn't mean we ignore our feelings or try to suppress them. It just means we don't let them control us. By being mindful, we can choose our responses carefully instead of just reacting without thinking. This can help us handle our emotions better and lead to more peace and understanding in our lives. So, in Buddhism, the power of not reacting is really the power of mindfulness. It's the power of being fully present and aware, and choosing our responses with thought and care. The power of pause is a simple yet powerful concept. It's about taking a moment to stop and think before we respond to something. Imagine if someone says something that upsets you. Your first reaction might be to say something back right away. But what if you took a moment to pause and think about it first? This pause gives you a chance to calm down and collect your thoughts. It lets you think about what you really want to say. Maybe you realize that you're not really upset with the person, but with the situation. Or maybe you find a more compassionate way to express your feelings. Pausing before responding can also help you understand the other person better. You can think about why they might have said what they did. Maybe they're having a bad day, or they didn't mean to upset you. Understanding this can help you respond in a kinder and more thoughtful way. So, the next time you find yourself about to react to something, try to remember the power of pause. Take a moment to stop, breathe, and think. You might be surprised at how much difference it can make. It can lead to better conversations, better relationships, and a better understanding of yourself and others. Let me share you a simple story that illustrates the power of not reacting. Once upon a time, there was a wise monk who lived in a small village. He was known for his calm demeanor and his ability to stay peaceful no matter what happened. One day, a man came to the village. He was angry and upset about something, and he started yelling at the monk, blaming him for all his problems. The villagers were shocked and worried about how the monk would react. But the monk simply stood there, calm and quiet, listening to the man's angry words. He didn't argue back. He didn't try to defend himself. He just listened. When the man finally ran out of things to say, he was surprised to see that the monk hadn't reacted at all. He asked the monk, "Why didn't you react to my words? Why didn't you argue back?" The monk replied, "If someone gives you a gift and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man was confused, so the monk explained, "Your words are like a gift. You can choose to give them, but I can choose whether or not to accept them. I chose not to accept your angry words, so they still belong to you." The man was stunned. He realized that he had been holding on to his anger, and it was only hurting him. He thanked the monk for his wisdom and left the village, promising to work on letting go of his anger. This story shows us the power of not reacting. By choosing not to react to the man's angry words, the monk was able to maintain his peace and teach the man a valuable lesson. It reminds us that we have the power to choose how we respond to situations, and that sometimes the best response is no response at all. Here are some simple techniques to practice non-reaction. 1. Mindfulness meditation. This is a type of meditation where you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment, without interpretation or judgment. Spend a few minutes each day sitting quietly and focusing on your breath. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath. 2. Deep breathing. When you find yourself reacting to something, take a few deep breaths. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Hold your breath for a few seconds, then breathe out slowly through your mouth. This can help calm your mind and give you a moment to think before you react. 3. Mental noting. This is a technique where you acknowledge your feelings and thoughts without judging them. For example, if you feel angry, instead of reacting to that anger, you simply note to yourself, "I'm feeling angry right now." This can help you to not get caught up in your emotions and react impulsively. Remember, these techniques take practice. The more you do them, the better you'll get at not reacting impulsively. It's all about taking a moment to pause and think before you respond. This can lead to better conversations, better relationships, and a better understanding of yourself and others. Not reacting impulsively has several benefits. It can lead to reduced stress because you're not letting your immediate emotions control your actions. It can also result in better relationships. By not reacting impulsively, you give yourself time to understand others' perspectives, leading to more thoughtful and respectful interactions. Lastly, it can increase self-awareness. When you pause before reacting, you become more aware of your own feelings and thoughts, helping you understand yourself better. So, not reacting impulsively can contribute to a more peaceful and understanding life. Practicing non-reaction can be tough. One big challenge is our habits. We're used to reacting quickly, so it takes time to change this. Another challenge is strong emotions. When we're very upset or excited, it's hard not to react. But don't worry, these challenges can be overcome. Here are some tips. 1. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Notice when you're about to react and take a moment to pause. 2. Deep breathing. If you feel strong emotions, take deep breaths. This can help you calm down and think clearly. 3. Patience. Changing habits takes time. Be patient with yourself. If you react without thinking, don't get upset. Just try again. 4. Self-care. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. If you're tired or stressed, it's harder to control your reactions. Here are some examples of real-life situations where non-reaction can be beneficial. 1. Personal relationships. Imagine you're having a disagreement with a friend or family member. They say something that upsets you. Instead of reacting immediately, you take a moment to pause. This allows you to respond in a calm and thoughtful way, preventing the situation from escalating. 2. At work. Suppose a colleague criticizes your work unfairly. Instead of reacting defensively, you pause and take a deep breath. This gives you time to think about a constructive response. Maybe you ask for specific feedback, turning the situation into a learning opportunity. 3. Difficult situations. Let's say you're stuck in traffic and you're getting frustrated. Instead of reacting by honking your horn or getting angry, you choose not to react. You accept the situation as it is, which helps you stay calm and patient. These examples illustrate the power of non-reaction. It strengthens relationships, handles criticism effectively, and maintains calm in tough situations. Remember, it's not about suppressing emotions, but choosing responses wisely. So, keep practicing. Be kind to yourself. You're learning and growing.